Good evening and happy Sunday evening, July 24th. Hope all of you guys have had a wonderful weekend and enjoying a wonderful Sunday. I thought I'll try my hand at doing a video review of a movie or TV series. I've never done anything like this before. I blog a lot about movies. I write a lot of reviews about movies and TV shows, episodes or the full season or full series altogether. I do a lot for movies as well, and but I've never done for one a video review of any of them. So I thought I'll just give it a try. Rather than have the camera face to me and you guys see my ugly mug, thought I have some images on my computer screen over here. So let's give that a try. The movie in question is, of course, as you can see over here, the movie poster, Star Trek Beyond. Excuse the shaky camera, but Star Trek Beyond, I just watched it yesterday in the afternoon, 12:50 p.m. In the Lulu PVR. Lulu is the big mall here in Cochin. So here's my quick review on it. What did I think of it? Did I like it? Did I hate it? Did I love it? I think it's closer to love than like. I believe this is probably the best of the three um, alternate timeline alternate timeline a series of movies, sorry, that is being called the JJ Trek, or as I think they officially have a name for it, called the Franklinverse, or the Franklin Universe. So since 2009, Star Trek has had a reboot kind of thingy, which the alternate timeline being formed, and 2009 you saw the 11th movie in the series, that was Star Trek 2009. You've also had 2013's Into Darkness, which is probably one of my least favorite story-wise, and I just think that was a big shamble. And of course, this one which just came out a few days back. So Star Trek Beyond promises to, this being the 50th anniversary of Star Trek, this movie promised to have good homage to the original series, to what most of us know and love as Star Trek, and it does that. It delivers on that front, and I think in this particular movie you can actually see that's because the way they've actually done it. You can actually see a lot of camaraderie between the cast, between the characters as well. But I think that chemistry between the cast really shines over here, and I think we, the fans, are pleased to see it. At least most of the people who I know, online or otherwise, who have seen this movie seem to agree with me. There's a good number of people who don't like it, I'm sure. I don't know any of them. The reviews have been positive from fans and critics alike. So I thought I'll give my 2 cents about it. So Star Trek Beyond, okay. Here's some shots from the movie. Carl Urban as let me go over that. Carl Urban as Scotty. Sorry, as Leonard Bones McCoy is awesome. I think his choice, and I think it does come across that he is a Star Trek fan. His choice the choice of putting him in this role was probably some of the best things that JJ ever did. He does capture the essence of the grumpy doctor that we know and love. So that's, I think he got a good chance to shine over here, much more. And there you see Jayla and Scotty, Simon Pegg as Scotty. Here's another shot of the bridge of the USS Franklin, which is I'm like 50-50 on that particular design. And there's Jayla again sitting in the captain's chair. And one of the funniest episodes where funnier moments of the movie where Scotty tells her he likes to sit on this chair. He meaning Kirk. There's another shot of that. One of the best parts of this movie is the fact that we get to see a lot of Bones and Spock together, and the comedy really, it really stands out. It's absolutely wonderful. The little jibes that Bones does against Spock, especially about the end of the relationship between Spock and Uhura, and I mean, everybody in the theater was just laughing when Bones asked him, "What did you do with that funny look on his face?" I think that was like superb. He's just taking a dig at Spock, but the mutual respect that they seem to have for each other also shines out. But this movie, I think, putting these two characters together did a lot of great things for this movie. Here we have the villain, and here's one of my big problems with this movie. If I would knock off points, is the fact that had this guy been an alien, as we seem to think he is, I wouldn't have had a problem with it. But then there would have to be a reason as to why he is dead set against against the Federation. Sorry, and wants to kill off the members of the Federation. But there's a more you can see him a lot more in this picture. Idris Elba is hampered by the fact because he's under that that big uniform and that mask or the makeup that he's put on. Here he is with Uhura, and this is the scene from the alien planet where it kind of looked to me before I saw the movie that the aliens were going to make the crew of the Enterprise go and work for them in some mines or something like that, or were being processed for something. Kind of reminded me of you know Holocaust victims in World War II. Kind of got that feel over here. I thought that was awesome, but they were actually just being. I don't really know why they didn't kill them off, if that was the whole plan in the first place. So that's it. That's it among the images. So I just want to show you some of those. My big problem with the fact is that once again Star Trek, and this happens a lot in the movies and not so much in the TV shows, that they always seem to bring a human as the big villain. Like starting off with Wrath of Khan, you have Khan in it. You have in Nemesis, it's Picard's clone, which is the big villain in it. The Nemesis, in fact, for Picard. Once again, you have in Into Darkness, you have Khan once again as the superhuman, the the uber human, if you want, in both terms of brute strength as well as intelligence as the main villain. I don't know. I'm not very. I'm not very happy with the fact that they've used a human element in several of these. I think the villain. I'm not saying that humans can't be the villain, but I think it's been done a couple of times now. So I would rather have an alien race with more of a motive. And the fact that when the reveal does come, I was kind of expecting it when they said that the crew of the Franklin. The Franklin was the ship that actually, and I couldn't find a decent picture of the USS Franklin, the substitute hero ship in this particular movie. When turned out that the warriors, Mako warriors who were converted to Starfleet officers, and Idris Elba's character, I can't remember the name of him, name of the captain, and it'll come to me soon. I'll probably put it up in the screen. The fact that he and his crew, mainly he, didn't like the fact that Balthasar, is that the name? I can't think of it. Bartholomew, something like that. He actually felt betrayed by Starfleet, and when his ship was lost in a nebula and crashed on a planet, they felt abandoned by Starfleet and the Federation, and then all their focus over the next 100 years or so was basically to get their revenge and destroy the Federation if they could. And the fact that the alien environment on this particular planet had a lot of healing properties, extended their life, so to speak, because they lived on for another 100 years, and also mutated them. That's why they look, instead of rather looking like humans, they actually look like this. So Krall and his goons are actually humans, or mostly Federation citizens. When we do see a small image of some of the crew, most of them look like humans to me. In the brief moment that I remember, brief minutes that I do remember from the movie, but that's I think that was really disappointing for me that they ended up as being humans of the USS Franklin, the crew of the USS Franklin, and finally when Krall kind of gets onto the ship, gets onto the starbase that he plans to destroy using that alien bioweapon, which Kirk just happened to have in his. That's the part of the story I'm not really liking. Kirk just happens to have that alien artifact, which is the second part, or one half of the dangerous bioweapon created by an ancient alien race, and Kroll was about to destroy them. His form actually changed. He began to look more human, and he was wearing a gold Starfleet uniform as well. That did not sit right with me at all. And then, of course, he was killed and ejected off into deep space, and he was consumed by the bioweapon. So I think that's one of the biggest problems I have with this movie. It didn't sell me on this particular part as to why Kroll, as a human, would have wanted to do this. Yes, he was a warrior. I think Starfleet could have done a lot of good things with him. So, it is the alternate timeline. So, I guess a lot of these things probably do happen over here. But, sorry, no, he's not supposed to be from the alternate timeline. He's actually supposed to be, from the original timeline, from the time of just after Enterprise, I suppose. That's the part. So that's the major issue I've had with this movie. So at least in this watching, I'm pretty sure I might find a few other things. But overall, I think the movie does work. It's got a lot of humor. It's got a lot of cool action scenes. Oh yeah, the second thing I probably don't like is the come on, dirt bike and come on. Justin Lin thought he did a lot of good things on this movie, but a dirt bike. Granted, yes, it's from over 100 years ago, so somewhere during the 22nd century, I suppose dirt bikes too will still exist at that time. But just seeing that, it was a cool scene. It was a cool fight scene happening over there. A lot of good things happening, but Jayla's convenient. Ability to some kind of device that she had that can make her warp from place to place. That's just convenient. The fact that I was thinking, the biggest convenient thing I was thinking, that they crash land onto this planet and there happens to be a Starfleet vessel over there. Just happens to be just a few repairs which Peg could do, and it was fixed. But yeah, when the reveal is finally done, I do understand why that ship happens to be there. But there's a few things. So overall, after watching the movie, although I wasn't blown away, I do think that this movie is a positive. So I would give it an 8 out of 10 because I enjoyed it quite a bit. I remember when I first watched 2009 Star Trek, I liked it a lot, and over time I discovered things that I didn't agree with. Those kind of things happen. Into Darkness, however, the very first time I watched it, I've only watched it twice, Into Darkness, and I did not like it the first time. I thought JJ was just being ridiculous. I thought it was like a slap in the face of fans. No Star Trek fan is going to remember Wrath of Khan and Space Seed. That's the kind of thing. So I don't want to dwell too much on that. The fact that this movie is awesome is a credit to the fact that I think now because it's been 3 movies, the cast has gelled quite a bit and they have grown into their roles, and therefore you see a lot of chemistry between the characters. They're more comfortable, I guess, and Chris Pine isn't trying to outshine the original Kirk. Come on, son, you're not going to be able to do that. In our minds, Captain Kirk is always going to be William Shatner doing Captain Kirk. Okay. But yeah, and of course, nobody's going to replace the original cast in our minds and hearts. But the fact that certain things, like for example, what do you call it? Bones over here. Carl Urban over here does a fantastic Bones. His acting is top notch. He's funny. He's very likable in his role, even when he's being grumpy. When Spock tells that he needs him to go along with him on the planet, and they say it was your plan all along, wasn't it? Those kind of things are really funny. So overall, I would give it an 8. It's a very enjoyable movie. I plan to go and see it once again. I hope I get an option to not see it in 3D. I don't really know why this movie has to be in 3D. It doesn't really stand out in 3D, so I'm planning to go and see it maybe next week, or if not the week after that. And I hope I get to see it in 2D, because I think it's going to be a much better experience for me. I kind of don't like 3D movies. So that's it. Unfortunately, I didn't get a good image of Anton Yelchin in this movie, but that was the sad part. Young actor, just 27 years old, uh, dying in that manner that he did. That's really sad. Um, and of course, the moment when they had that tribute to Spock, and towards the end of the movie when they showed the old cast, I mean, a tear did go down my cheeks. I love the old cast. Love Star Trek. I mean, it's my favorite franchise. It's my favorite. It's I love everything Star Trek. So all the 5 series and the 13 movies is near and dear to me. I'm a true die-hard Trekkie. I may not know all the technical terms. I may not know all that stuff, but yeah, I do love the stories. I love the characters. I love the cultures. I love everything about Star Trek. But yeah, these kind of things in a movie, like, that's the difference. So you would tell, if I were to say which are my favorite, definitely Wrath of Khan and First Contact. They're kind of like, I go back and forth between which is my favorite among them, but I suppose Wrath of Khan is just slightly. It's a classic movie, is what I would call it. So not that First Contact isn't. It's an absolutely superb movie in itself. But those are my two top favorites. This would be somewhere in around 4 or 5, I guess, in terms of me watching it. I mean, it maybe might be a little too early to say, but I guess it's going to be in my top 10 definitely, for sure. Maybe somewhere around 5, 6, or 7, right? My least favorite is Into Darkness. So I've been rambling on for such a long time. And I also like the fact that, Sofia Butal, I don't know how you pronounce her name, Butal. She's superb in the movie as well. Her character is kick-ass. She's a fighter. She's a survivor. I loved, the inclusion of this character, and the fact that we won't be having Chekhov in the next movie because of Anton Yelchin's dying. I guess they could either bring in a new character, or have somebody on, like, maybe just have a one-off character coming over there. But maybe my suggestion would be to actually keep her in his role. Have her go through Starfleet, because Scotty is recommended her to get into Starfleet Academy, and maybe have her join as an ensign the next time. Oh yeah, the other thing that I didn't kind of buy is the fact that Kirk could actually, year 3 of his 5-year mission, he actually applied for and got through as Vice Admiral for the Starbase Yorktown. That I didn't buy either. So that's cool. I saw a couple of Asian faces. It was nice to see an Indian face, and I think a couple of them. I remember he was a Punjabi who had moved from India to Vancouver, so he was there. I mean, no role to speak of, just there as a character. And I think there was one more lady as well, who was probably Indo-Canadian, perhaps because it was shot in and around Vancouver, I guess, or somewhere in BC. And the other thing, yeah, that's pretty much it. So I guess it's almost 20 minutes. Time for me to I'm getting more messages on Facebook, sorry. Time for me to shut this down, and guys, take care. I don't know, maybe I might do a few more of these, I'm not too sure, but thank you very much. Live long and prosper. Or can I do this for you guys? Okay, all right, thank you, bye.